It hit me like a sucker punch in the gut. That moment Mark slid the envelope across his scuffed oak desk with a grin that screamed, "Aren't I clever?" 9 years I'd poured my soul into Apex logistics, navigating endless supply chain nightmares, surviving 2 brutal acquisitions, a complete tech overhaul that nearly broke us, and that godforsaken flood in the East Wing warehouse that had us wading through ankle-deep water for days. And now, this smug suit hands me a 1099 like I'm some freelance side hustle, not the backbone holding this place together. My mouth went cotton dry before I even tore it open. It was nestled in my end-of-year packet benefits rundown. Vacation accrual. The standard fluff, and there it was. Like a venomous snake coiled in the mix, not my faithful W-2. But this glaring 1099 misc. Screaming independent contractor. My fingers trembled as I unfolded it. No heads up. No memo. Just a silent gutting disguised as paperwork. I glanced up at Mark, who was already chugging his kale smoothie and pretending to crunch numbers on a spreadsheet he probably copied from some intern. "This a mix-up?" I managed, voice steady as a tightrope walker. He chuckled. Didn't even look me in the eye. "Nah, Alex. Strategic pivot. More agile. More cost-effective. You're still one of us. One of us? Like hell." He tacked on. "Plus, you'll pocket more cash. Think of those deductions. As if write-offs could replace the health coverage I'd relied on for my kids' asthma meds. The 401k match I'd been socking away for a rainy day. Or the overtime pay that kept the lights on during those 60-hour weeks." I didn't snap. Didn't raise my voice. In logistics, you learn that rage doesn't reroute the shipment, it just delays the delivery. So I nodded, forced a thin smile, pocketed the packet, and walked out like the ground wasn't cracking under my feet. That night, I sat in my driveway for a solid 20 minutes. Engine off, staring at the dashboard like it held answers. All those missed family dinners. The weekends sacrificed to inventory audits gone wrong. The times I'd been the go-to fixer when everything else fell apart for what? A tax form that branded me disposable. A ghost in their machine. I poured a stiff bourbon, fired up my laptop, and dove into the IRS site W-2 versus 1099. It was a black hole of legalese, but crystal clear on one thing: the checklist. Behavioral control. Did they dictate my hours? My tools? My methods? Hell yes. Financial control. Paid on their schedule. No invoices from me? Check. Relationship. Benefits. Expectations of permanence? Absolutely. I wasn't a contractor, I was embedded. Wearing their branded polo. Logging into their proprietary software. Attending their mandatory team huddles. But Apex wanted to pretend otherwise. Dodging their share of taxes, benefits, and liability if I slipped on that oily warehouse floor. I didn't sleep much. Instead, I printed Mark's email, the one where he quipped, "We're doing you a solid on taxes," folded it crisp, scanned it, forwarded it to my personal account, and backed it up to the cloud. In shipping, backups save your ass when the primary fails. I wasn't sure what I'd do with it. But this felt like sabotage. A quiet knife twist after years of loyalty. Mark called it efficiency. I started seeing it as theft, my security, my future, swiped under the guise of flexibility. By 2 a.m., my notebook was scrawled with notes: integration into operations, lack of independence, no separate business entity. This wasn't a glitch, it was a scam. And I was the mark. The betrayal simmered, turning my stomach sour. Forums were littered with nightmares, folks slammed with self-employment taxes, penalties piling up because their bosses played fast and loose. Now I was on the hook for the full FICA load. Thousands evaporated because Apex streamlined. I emailed Mark for clarity. Permanent shift? Any docs to sign? Role change details? His reply pinged back in under 5. Chill. Alex. We've rolled this out before. Still family. Family? The word burned like acid. What family strips your safety net and bills you for the privilege? I forwarded that gem to my archive. Heart hammering. Then navigated to the State Labor Board site. No fanfare. Just checkboxes, no contractor agreement. Set hours under supervision. Company tools provided. No invoicing. Expected benefits? Yes. Misclassified? Damn right. I attached Mark's emails. Hit submit. And waited for the world to shift. It didn't. Just a bland confirmation, received. Possible contact from investigator. Anticlimactic as a flat tire on a back road. I second-guessed myself for days. Pacing my kitchen at dawn. Coffee going cold. Had I nuked my job over pride? But rereading Still Family hardened my resolve if this was kin. I'd rather be orphaned. I built a digital fortress, screenshots of schedules. Old W-2s. Memos proving my role hadn't budged. Remember that all-nighter rerouting shipments after a vendor screw-up? Mark's thank you gift card mocked me now, team player. We take care of our own until we don't. Weeks dragged on. Surface calm masking the undercurrent. Same forklift whines. Same stale breakroom brew. But cracks appeared. Payroll's Jen avoided my gaze like I'd grown horns. Whispers about deep dives into time logs, not just mine. But years back. HR called an all-hands under buzzing lights, routine audit. Keep calm. Mark's swagger faltered. His cologne masking flop sweat. Vendor delays piled up, invoices stamped hold, carriers ghosting us. Then the auditors arrived, sharp suits. No chit-chat. Pulling staff for clarifications. My trainee. Carlos. Whispered post-interview. They asked who ran the floor. Said it was you. I nodded. Truth. The tension coiled tighter. A spring ready to snap. I kept low. Logging manifests. But ears tuned to the fraying. Job postings surfaced in the audit, full-time duties labeled contractor. Internal emails too. Mark's sign-offs everywhere. The dam broke when Mark stormed the floor. Crimson-faced. Clutching a letter like poison. Slammed into the break room with legal eagles. Hours later. Another all-hands, state review. No biggie. But I glimpsed the folder, bold quote, doing you a solid on taxes. My chest iced. Retroactive probe. 7 years deep. Misclassification? Potential fraud. The math flipped, Apex's savings now a noose. Payouts started trickling. A former shift lead texted. Owed $12,000 back pay. Unreal. Payroll glitched. Maintenance. Budgets slashed. Goodbye Keurigs. Hello instant sludge. A leaked memo nailed it. Leadership knew of inconsistencies. Mark's thread admitted noncompliance. Whispers turned to trades. If it was Alex. Props. I stayed silent. A ghost in the machine. The hemorrhage accelerated. Tax delinquency notice plastered up front. Assets frozen. Vendors bailed. Lines crippled. Crisis counsel arrived. Briefing turning grim. You bankrupted us. I got a ping from an ex-colleague. Sinking ship. You good? Better than ever, I replied. Truth. This was vindication. Not vengeance, respect clawed back from the ashes. Layoffs hit like a tsunami, 60% gone. BCC'd memo sterile as autopsy. No severance. Todd, Mark stepped aside amid blame ping-pong. I was already out. Door plaqued as compliance consultant at a firm auditing the Todds of the world. My toolkit? Live soon. Arming the overlooked. The state letter sealed it. Your tip triggered enforcement. No parade. Just closure. Apex filed Chapter 11. Warehouse echoes empty. A final text. It's done. I sipped coffee. Replied, told them I wasn't a contractor. The price? Heavy, but worth every scar. They handed me a 1099. I handed back accountability. Case closed.